Hi, I'm Nick. I run a business called Golden Tours in London. Tarang, a software specialist, he knows all the complicated stuff. I know how to create a problem. He knows how to fix it. So the relationship with Tarang began 15 years ago. I run a coach trial business, 70 coaches in London, 1.5 million passengers a year, and that gives me a lot of problems. So we approached Tarang probably about 15 years ago saying, can you solve some of my issues? The choice was, should we go out and look at current solutions that's out in the market, or should we do our own thing? We tried both. Very difficult when you're expanding business to try and rely on other people's technology, because that technology does not always work with you or work at the speed that you want to be working at. So 15 years of technology, loads and loads of solutions. 6 months ago, I said to Tarang, should we share the technology that we have now created in-house? And the answer was, why not? So we created a company called Tours and Travel Technology. It is, what it says. And one thing I want to talk to you about today in particular is the thing that is really required in the industry, which is the validation solution. Perhaps just to tell you a bit more about me. So as the lady said, started in 1984, based in London, part of Greyline Corporation worldwide. You'll see open-top buses, Harry Potter buses. We sell attraction tickets, 250 staff on the street. So basically everything that everybody really experiences, we actually do it. So the solution we'll be talking about in a few minutes is something that's tried and tested. We've done 750,000 transactions already on our validation tool that I'll be sharing with you in a few minutes. Tarang?
Next slide, please. The next slide, please. Hi everyone. Vsourz is a travel technology company. We work with diverse types of clients within travel industry. So we have travel agents who sell their flights, hotels, car hire products through their website. We build back-end systems for travel agents. We work with tour operators. We work with tourism boards, and we work with different types of DMCs, attractions, and activity suppliers. There is a whole suite of technology that we have built together with Golden Tours, and that's what we are talking about next now.
So not to overemphasize, between the two of us, we got 50 years of experiences, 600 staff between Dubai, Canada, Spain, etc. And clients in a lot of industry, from tour operators to various suppliers. So we think we have a solution that's been tried and tested. It's a bit strange to discuss with you what you probably know already. So 3 things we're trying to solve. First and foremost is fraud. We all have issues with fraud. We don't quite know if the voucher that's being validated is actually real, whether it's a photocopy, whether it's from the tour operator it's meant to be, whether it's the right product. We personally went through a lot of fraud in the last 10 years. So we know it's a big issue. I'm told worldwide it probably costs more than £2 billion a year in fraud issues, probably more. Staff cost. Everybody in the industry, sorry, made one mistake. You know who I am, you know who Tarang is, can I find out who you are? So if that's okay with you, show of hand, how many tour operators here, please? Tour operators? 1, 2, Citirama, 3. OTAs, travel agents, etc. 1, 3. Great, okay, the rest are here. Great, okay, so we're part of the, so good to know. So staff cost, everybody has huge accounting cost. We used to have 4 staff in accounts just doing reconciliation of vouchers, invoicing, making sure we get paid if the vouchers are rejected, resubmitting the credit notes. That all disappeared 6 months ago when we found this solution. Worldwide again, millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars are being spent on this accounting cost. Research cost. If you're looking for a new product, we have to find the supplier, whether the supplier is the right kind of supplier, which country, which supplier, go and see them. We think the solution we have will help you to look for your supplier a bit faster. So 3 areas where we can help you: fraud, staff cost, and research costs. We're calling our product switch and validation module, almost like a clearing bank. There's a clearing bank that clears all the checks and the transactions of all the banks. Connect is a clearing solution for transactions between an OTA and a supplier. Suppliers, two types of products, a free sale product and a product that requires a booking. The solution deals with both type of bookings. Solution also deals with QR codes that are supplied by OTA, also could be supplied by the supplier, or in between we can supply the QR codes ourselves. So Connect takes the bookings from OTAs, and when the bookings are validated by the supplier, the clearing bank will say whether it's the right booking or not. Fairly straightforward. Tarang?
Yeah, so the end result is a suite of different modules and platforms that integrate at both ends with the supplier and the reseller. And it is built on a very robust technology which is highly scalable, so it is able to handle volumes of a large number of validations. So if there are a busy attraction and they have lots of footfall, it can handle large scalability. What you get is a simple and easy to use interface platform as a supplier and an agent, and you can start working on it out of the box with very little training that is required for that. It has a central repository of all the bookings that are made through the platform, and it has a central repository of all the validations that are done through the platform, and you have a full audit trail about that as well, which we will talk about a bit later. The platform allows for mapping of products between suppliers and sellers. It has a library of products that you can go and do some intelligent searches based on your criteria, based on your preferences. And it has an API capability which is built on OTA standards. So if you have an existing reservation system, if you have your existing IT company or suppliers, in-house teams, they can integrate easily into the system by pushing validations or by pushing products into the platform. And it has a repository of sample codes which your developers can start using straight away from day one, and you can integrate into your platform seamlessly.
Thanks, Tarang. Okay, so a bit more about the suppliers validation. I think there's three types of suppliers. One with absolutely no existing reservation system, small guy, maybe a couple of $1 million in turnover, somebody with reservation system, and the third person, reservation system, validation tools, QR codes, everything. Three different type of suppliers, three different type of solutions. Connect can deal with every one of these. So if you have no reservation system, we do have a reservation platform they can use as an option. Most people that don't have reservations would probably mean they have a freestyle product like an open top bus, like a cruise, etc. In which case the only thing they need to do is download our app, and you'll see later on our app can be downloaded in various ways, including on your mobile phone. Very straightforward, very easy. The second person is somebody with a reservation system but does not have their own QR code. Same thing. If he has a reservation system, that means he has a product that requires reservations, like maybe a coach tour. The OTA sends the booking to Connect. Connect confirms the booking with the reservation system of the supplier, confirms the booking stays in the Connect system. When the customer goes to the supplier, the voucher code that's supplied by the OTA is read by the app. Number three, if you have your own validation system already, our validation system can stay on top of yours. So you don't have to change your validation system, you don't have to change your reservation system. It's perfectly fine. We can work with you. So three ways, three types of suppliers.
Okay, so as a supplier, you have your own dashboard. So you are given a username and a password, and you can set up your members of staff onto the platform. And as a supplier, you can choose which products you want to publish through the platform. You can choose which supplier, which agents you want to sell your product through. And it has all the history and the audit trail of all the validations and bookings that are made through the platform. And it shows you your top selling products, top validated products. It shows you an audit trail of all the transactions that happen through the platform. And it has different types of validations that you can set up as well through the platform.
Just to backtrack a little bit, the relationship between the OTA and the supplier is decided by themselves. So the OTA has a separate contract with the supplier. We don't get involved in the negotiation. The commission levels, we don't need to know. We simply validate the document for them. So both of them will sign a document saying they wish to be connected, and they'll be connected on our system. That keeps the independence in the hand, that keeps the security in the hand. We are happy with that solution. So how does a OTA work? Either through an API facility, or if they don't have an API, or for various reasons they want to try the model out first, they could actually send us the bookings on an Excel spreadsheet, which we would, at a cost obviously, book on the reservation system for them. So you don't have to have an API. We can actually manually book the system for them. Or they can also go at the back of the system using an agent login and make manual bookings if that's the preferred solution rather than an API solution.
So one of the key issues for an OTA, IT or an integration team is to keep up with a number of suppliers. Within the attractions and activities industry, there are thousands and thousands of suppliers. And if you are looking to keep track of each and every validation, every product, every integration, as an OTA, there is a huge integration cost and a huge overhead of managing those integrations and everything. So the promise of Connect to an OTA is that with one integration, you are able to talk to most of your suppliers and you are able to send validation and booking details to most of your suppliers. So just like a supplier login platform, there is an OTA login platform which allows you to pick the suppliers you want to work with, and it allows you to look at the transactions that have happened. And all the data about validation and everything is real time. So every time a ticket has been validated, you are able to see it on your dashboard, and you are able to pull out reports from the system to be able to do that. And because it's one API, it's much easier for you to keep up with and optimize it as per your requirements.
Just to remind you that one of the things we spoke about was accounting costs. This way, the accounting costs are reduced totally. Both OTA and API are seeing how many transactions have taken place for each product. So from invoicing point of view, it's very easy. Supplier simply says, as per the Connect model, enclose the spreadsheet, and there's no reason why you cannot be paid. It's validated, it's evidence-based, you should get paid very quickly. In theory, you can also demand to be paid faster. So that's another consideration for yourselves. These are type of tools that we have currently in our possession that actually work. Our own MPOS system that we are happy to share with you if you require them. Tablet, we use this on our open top buses. We've got 50 open top buses out on the streets every single day. They actually validate the vouchers as well, in addition to selling products. Not going into too much details, the tablet also tracks the buses, so the customer knows when the next bus is coming. Loads of side benefits. Kiosk model. We supply kiosks to Visit say London Travel Corporation, located at 15 tube stations currently. It works, it's been there for the last 2 years, sells all kinds of products, and also validates. In theory, you could have a kiosk outside a busy attraction. They don't want to be involved in the validation. This particular kiosk could be outside, they validate the voucher, issue the attraction tickets, makes the life very, very easy for them. So that's another option. Mobile option for small suppliers, just download the app and we're in business. So 4 ways of validating.
Okay, so this is an example of how the validation technology can be set up in the platform. So it allows you to define different types of schedule and availability of your product. So as a supplier, you can set up the products that you are selling, and you can set up the availability period, the schedule, which days it's operating, and everything. You can define your tours and activity types as if they are a fixed date products, if they are an open dated product, if they are free sale, if they are on request, if they are bookable, if they are inventory driven, and things like that. You are able to define a validation period. So, for example, a hop on hop of bus ticket can be validated for 48 hours after its first redemption has been done. You are able to define validation attempts. So if a certain ticket was allowed to be validated for 10 times, you can define that through the platform as well. And it does allow you to select the devices through which the validation can happen. So if you want to use a tablet device, a mobile device, or a kiosk, it will allow you to pick those devices as well. It also does validation through location. So at certain entry points, you only want to allow premium customers to log in and board from that entry point. You are able to define that through the system as well. And you are able to define it based on number of allocations and things like that. So a certain entry point will only allow for 200 entries at that point of time is also managed through the platform. So you are in full control of your validation logic.
So it's not only a validation tool, it's actually an accounting tool as well. So what Tarang has just said, literally that piece of instrument, you can decide, the validation tool, where it can be located, which point. Great for the open-top bus technology. You can decide the person that's holding that device, how many times can he actually do a validation, 40, 50, which means you can control the number of passengers on the bus at a given point. It's more than simply a validation tool. It's very, very useful tool.
Example of a validation app. So the entry staff will validate the QR code, which is published through the OTA website. In real time, OTA gets access to the QR code whenever a booking is made, and the booking is then registered with the Connect platform. So the app will instantly recognize the QR code. It will know the number of passengers traveling. So if it is 2 adults and 2 children, and if only 2 adults and one children turn up, it will know how many people were signed in through the QR app. And this is an example of a report that is created through the platform. So as a supplier, as an OTA, you have real-time access to all these reports. You can download all the reconciliation reports, accounting reports, and validation reports to see number of times the voucher was used, number of times the entry ticket was used, and things like that.
Just on this point, for the open-top bus industry, where the same client can get on the bus number of times, number of points, it also allows for that solution. Okay, so these are the points we have covered already. So defines the schedules, tour activity type, validity period. As I said before, it's more than simply a validation tool. Okay, I don't know whether I should stop here and see if you've got any questions about this particular tool, validation tool, or shall I introduce you to a few of the things that we have available as well. So any questions, please, on validation tool? Brilliant. Okay, great. Because we operate various type of products, we created a number of solutions for our operation. The other thing we could share with you is a city sightseeing app. It's a HOHO app that does a number of stuff. It gives you ability to connect and do walking tours. You can do commentaries based on geographic locations that can be used for coach tours, bus tours, walking tours. It allows you to recommend restaurants, depends on where you are, tells you what activity are happening in the location that you are, etc. We've been using this for our customers for quite some time. Extremely helpful to create extra revenue. Sorry, one more thing. Routes and stops. On the open-top bus, it's very useful for a client to know when the next bus is coming. This tells you within a minute of the real time where the next bus is, taking care of all the traffic and everything else. So very helpful for the open-top bus industry. We have 70 vehicles that needs to be tracked, where they are, what the driver is doing. So if you're a coach operator, you're looking for a tracker solution for your buses, that's something we can also help you with. Entertainment system on a coach. 3 months ago, as an experiment on 3 of our coaches, we installed iPads. So you literally have an experience like in an aircraft. We can show movies, entertainment, itineraries, buy stuff. Is all now available on our coaches. And we've spoken about the validation thing. One thing that's not on here is possibly, I think one of the best things that we have is our reservation system. We've been using this reservation system, using technology from Tarang for almost 15 years. We've probably done closer to 15 million transactions. It's able to do anything from airport transfers, hotel bookings, restaurant bookings, sending bookings to suppliers. Extremely sophisticated system. If anyone is looking for a reservation solution, please come and talk to us as well. Any questions? Okay, so if anyone wants to see either one of us after this event, we're just there on the left-hand side. Come and say hello. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Hope what we have to say has been helpful. Tarang, anything else?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.